How do I do this? How do I do this? Let's play around with something for a minute. Not that one. Pin a live stream. Not that, maybe. How do I do that? Wait a minute, let's try this one more time. Tag products. Okay. Not that way. How do I do it? How do I do it? But there's a way. Well, let's just do it. Let's just play around with it. Again, I was running a test yesterday. And I want to see how we do it. Let's see. Not that. Not that. What if I hit that? Not that. Definitely not that. Not that. Don't want to retouch. Don't want to put that. Don't welcome. What do we do with that? More. Okay. No, cancel. How do I get back to my stream? Here we go. This is weird. Should have figured out this beforehand. Let's see what that does. This one. To create a short. I'm not trying to create a short. Wow, there's so many different things. Green screen? No, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do any of that. Let's get out of here. What is this? Lighting on, lighting off. Wow. Oh, again, green screen. Well, maybe I can't do it today. Wonder how you do it. Maybe I'm gonna just take my time. I hear my coffee brewing up. Maybe I'm not gonna be so stressed out about this show or this morning or doing it exactly right. Let's just show you kind of what the morning looks like. Hello, Stephen. How are you? I'm gonna pop up my computer for a second. I worked kind of hard. No, I didn't work hard, but I was at a coffee shop yesterday and had a woman that was, or excuse me, during the show yesterday morning, I had a woman, good morning, Julie Flanagan, that was asking me to ask ChatGPT how to help monetize my platform. And I'm just kind of working through that right now. And did a test last night and figured out how to pin a comment on my computer, but I don't know how to pin a comment to this conversation. So I'm gonna reverse engineer this. Not really sure if that's what it is. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's not what it is. Gonna go to my friend ChatGPT. Wait. You can now pick a new personality for our ChatGPT person. How weird is that? How creepy is that? I'm on ChatGPT, it said pick a personality for it. I mean, I like my ChatGPT just as he was. Good morning, 55. Sorry, here I'm got to my YouTube Live from my phone. All right, let's get this going. It looks to be a glorious Sunday morning. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I think I should set up on my, make sure the live chat is visible. You guys are visible. And how do I post a comment? How do I make a comment? How do I make sure the live chat is visible? Oh, message, pin message, we'll try that. I'm just playing around again. No, I didn't want to pin that message. how do I make sure the live chat is visible? I'm really using you guys a little bit as a test. I'm gonna get my coffee and do my show. Believe me that I will. Where's it? I don't see the, how do I make the live? Okay, so I'll ask you. Make the live chat visible. Maybe if the value from what I'm doing right now will talk one of you old timers like me, if you're live on your phone, while you're live, look at the bottom of the screen, tap the speech bubble. I don't see a speech bubble. I don't see a speech bubble. Should give you an option to show view all messages. It says chat filter. It doesn't say view all messages. I appreciate you, Steve. Oh yeah, it's a bubble. I have a settings button, a share this button. Oh, awesome. Hey, Cole, thank you so much. Cole, you're the sweetest thing. Good morning. Yeah, well, thank you, Cole. That was very kind to wish us all that. If you have seen a glorious audience. No, pinned a live stream. I apologize, guys. I apologize. Well, I'm going to turn on my phone, and if I can figure out, look at the bottom of the screen, tap the speech bubble / chat icon. I don't have one of those. I don't have one of those, I don't think. If you don't see it right away, tap the screen once. Controls, hide show. Tap the screen once. Slide up from the bottom, maybe. Once it is visible, swipe up from the bottom if the interface is minimized. This must be frustrating for you guys. So I don't know if you're making fun. Most would hide their experimentation. Yeah, no, but I'm just learning. This is how I learn. I do things. I'm not even sure. I don't even know if I want to do what I'm doing. Still don't see the speech. The funny thing is, somebody asked me, how do I monetize my channel, or asked ChatGPT how to monetize my channel. So you guys might not even like what I'm doing. You're live, but chat is disabled for that stream. Each live has its own, how to check, fix phone or laptop. You have to do this before or by editing the live. Click edit. Go to customization, look for live chat, make sure it is set to live chat. If chat is off, but no, there is a chat. I am, sorry guys, live right now and they are chatting. I think I'm working on being a more balanced individual. And part of me, if they are chatting, then live chat is visible and enabled. Nothing is wrong. What's happening is this. On mobile, the chat can be visible to viewers, but hidden from you as the host unless you open it manually. You're not crazy. This is a known YouTube app quirk. Do this right now while you're live. In this order. Tap the screen once. Did. This brings up the on-screen controls. Well, no, it doesn't. Okay, maybe. Look carefully at one of these. Depending on app version, it may be the word chat, a small speech bubble. Oh. A downward arrow, caret at the bottom. Swipe up from the bottom of the screen, not the chat drawer. I might have to come back. Here's the key workaround. Open chat by viewing the viewer's message. Okay. I don't even know if I want the end result. I just text. If you see a message overlaying the video, tap on one of the messages. I did. This opens the chat panel automatically. Okay. Remove, channel, add in, hide user. I don't want to hide anybody. I don't want to channel activity. What does that do? What does that do? That doesn't do what I'm doing. This doesn't do what I'm trying to do. Maybe I'll come back. Chat is on, nothing is. I just don't see a place for me to actually put a comment. Place for me to comment on my own. We're going to get to that coffee, don't you worry. Chat stream. I'm going to turn on my fire. Do you hear the hoarseness in my voice? I watched a movie last night by your kind folks' recommendation. It was a little bit of a tearjerker, and it was about education. Can you guess what the movie was? Can you get what? It's saying I can comment on a mobile device. Stephen Baltron. Let's say, guys, this is key detail. You're not doing anything wrong. If you don't see a place to type it, here's what it specifically means and how to fix it. If viewers are chatting, but you can't type, you're almost certainly in viewer view, not host, creator, chat view, even though you're the one who went live. On mobile, YouTube sometimes shows you the live video feed, but hides the creator chat input entirely. And I think it was Dead Poets Society, Jack Taylor. It was Dead Poets Society. And I think it was a perfect movie for me feeling the way I was feeling yesterday about working in the educational system. And honestly, I think I'm a little bit, I know we all love Robin Williams. I'm not trying to say I'm as cool or as funny or as good of an actor or could I do Nanu like Robin Williams. But I think there's some similarities, and I brought him up before. He struggled with depression. He struggled with substance addiction. I think he felt a responsibility to entertain the world, and if he wasn't doing it, probably felt very lonely and depressed. So in some ways, I see myself in Robin Williams. And watching that movie and watching him struggle, trying to teach his way and be who he was while encouraging the students to be who they were, and watch it running against the educational system, reminded me very much of the situation I feel in right now. Now, hold on here. Viewer view. With that, the fastest guarantee, use a second device or browser to pin the comment. You do not need to end the live. This is a huge work. I don't even want this. It's actually a comment saying here, support Coffee with Ken, and a link to my Buy Me a Coffee app. So it's actually you know, I'm not even sure I like it, but it told me to do this, and I want to listen to my friend ChatGPT. How would I go see a live while doing it? We can keep talking, or I could just go get my coffee. Hold on, studio. All right, let's see if I can hop on my live. I'm on my live. Hold on, let me see if I can see it. Let me see if I can see it. Oh, wouldn't this be fun? But I wouldn't want to have to do this every time. Restrictions, live viewers, 59. We got 75 people watching. Hold on, I'll be back because I want to talk more, perhaps, about do I think men find it hard to talk about mental health? Well, certainly. Yeah, because men aren't supposed to be sensitive at all. I mean, I think we're changing a little bit. Yeah, you fall down and hurt yourself, you're supposed to rub some dirt on it. I think it's changing, and I don't know if the way everything is changing is going the right way. Let's see, hold on, what if I click that? I don't want to edit it, I want to join it. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing here by openly talking about my own struggles a little bit. It's Buy Me a Coffee. That's not where there it is. Hold on here. Where'd it go? There it is. The ChatGPT thing looks like the little, wait, hold on, bottom up. Okay. Go live on the phone. Right, if you want to, okay. Go on YouTube, make sure you've logged into my channel, open my live video. Okay, hold on here. You mind? I appreciate your patience. Hold on, youtube.com. I really appreciate your patience. And Cole, I really appreciate what's going on. I might be getting tired of doing this and just give up for now. I'm not one that gives up easily, but perhaps it's time. My channel, hold on, from the studio, go to my channel, click on this live maybe. How do I get on this live? Hold on, maybe I join it. No, I don't want to join my own channel. I mean, that'd be interesting. That really would show commitment to what I'm doing. Live, how do I join it? Go to my channel. Hey, look. Click on this live, maybe. This is the weirdest thing. How do I get on this live? Okay, hold on. Maybe I join it. There's a delay. This is I'm gonna turn this off. Hold on, I'm gonna turn the volume. That'd be interesting. I had to turn that off. That might confuse the heck out of me. All right, again, I don't even know, and I don't even think I want to do this, but I'm just doing this for fun. Yesterday, I was trying to get my W-2s from a couple places of work. I'll tell you what, everything's a little more complicated. You used to get all your W-2s in the mail. You guys know I worked at Texas Roadhouse. I reached out to an old friend that worked there and said, hey, how do I do it? And she told me to get on the app. I go, what app? She told me the app at that point. And I no longer had my username or my password, which I would imagine, since I haven't worked there in 4 months, you would understand. And with that, I have put, again, I apologize. I mean, I don't apologize. It's my channel. I get to do what I want. They said on how to monetize it, put up a link to your Buy Me a Coffee page, and to put exactly that and have it pinned. So now I've done it. Now I can pull up my Fire, go get some coffee, and maybe engage with you guys a little bit more. Let's get my Fire, turn down the volume. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Sunday morning. It is, I think it might be February 1st. And it is 6:57 a.m. Happy Sunday. Coffee with Ken is a show that I've done for quite some time. It's a show about me talking. It is a show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing a little bit about the ups and downs we have in life, kind of sharing the adventure of one man as he goes down his path that is his life. I think we all are taking steps and all, traveling along, hopefully doing our best, hopefully making a difference, hopefully finding some peace and being okay. And yeah, that's kind of what my show's about. Not necessarily saying it's the greatest show in the world, but it's my show. So it's the show I'm going to do. But for those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. It's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I am so excited to have my first sip at this kind of normal hour for me. My hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you've got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. I'll tell you what, I know I don't sound great, but I think that's, just raspy, hoarse morning. I'm feeling a lot better, and with that, the coffee is tasting a lot better, and that's really nice. So I'm going to grab a seat over here. You could do it this way. I want to go this way. Yeah, let's do it this way. We haven't done this way in a while. Kind of looks interesting. Sit in front of these massive windows. Where are you from? I'm coming at you from Wisconsin. Hold on, now I'm going to try something a little dangerous here. All right, it wasn't too dangerous. I got through it. Somebody has some oatmeal. Well, welcome with your oatmeal. I am not going to change the name of the show to Oatmeal with Ken. I just don't think that'd be a good name for a show. I mean, I got some oatmeal. I haven't had my kids here in a while, but I really stocked up for them when they got here. Haven't had a bowl of cereal since they were last here. So they still have a bunch of Cinnamon Life, which I love, and a few oatmeals, which are really tasty, those little bagged oatmeals. Maple cinnamon, I think I have, which is really nice. I am glowing with the candle on. Do I like espresso? No. I mean, It's not like I dislike espresso, but I almost can't say the word espresso without having my pinky in the air. It seems small and expensive. So yeah, generally, I don't like small and expensive. I like large, big, and reasonably low cost. With that in mind, yesterday I don't know where I was going. And when I got there, right before I got in, I hopped onto Facebook and somebody was asking for a good Chicago-style beef place. I'm coming at you from Appleton, Wisconsin. I moved here a few months ago, and kind of was the suggestion of having a good beef sandwich sounded really good to me. I was getting hungry, and I found it, and I went there. It was nice. It was like $16 for a combo with fries and a drink. And maybe that's just the way the world is today. But it seemed a little expensive. And the sausage itself, Jack Taylor, if you're still watching, you'd appreciate it, was not the right type of sausage, I don't think. It was too thin and too dense. So it wasn't quite right. But I'll tell you, I ordered it dipped. And it came in a little tray container thing. And I'm telling you, it was swimming in it. So I wasn't exactly sure. I probably could have got a fork and a knife, but I didn't know exactly how to get the sandwich out of the receptacle that it was sitting in, where it was bathing in extremely hot juice. But I'll tell you, it was tasty. I almost fell asleep there. I sat there, drank a Mountain Dew. I don't like Mountain Dew a whole heck of a lot. It was nice though. Mountain Dew machine, it wasn't a Mountain Dew machine for the record. I think it was a Pepsi machine. I prefer Coke products. However, it had Dr. Pepper in it, which is a no-brainer for me because Dr. Pepper's awesome. It's got the great amount of burn and it's got an interesting flavor. So I was gonna get it, but it was out. The root beer was out. Pepsi I'm not gonna drink, obviously. So I was left with like Mountain Dew, and I got it. When the guy brought me the sandwich, I go, hey, is there any chance you can put the Dr. Pepper, put a new, whatever, box of Dr. Pepper in there so I could drink some? I just love it. And he got busy with customers. I'll tell you, it was really nice. He came and brought me a bottle of Dr. Pepper, and I go, oh, you couldn't fix it? He goes, no, I just have been busy and didn't have a chance and wanted to get you the Dr. Pepper. And I thought that was pretty nice. He was pretty nice. Why do I live in Wisconsin? It's a glorious state. You do not live in Wisconsin? Why do you capitalize Wisconsin? Why does anyone capitalize anything unless they have to? This looks like New York City behind me. New York City does not have large parking lots. I haven't actually been to New York City outside of the airport, but land is too expensive for them to have, a parking lot that's, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 acres of parking lot. Sorry, let me sip my water. Oh, is Jim Rat here? Good morning, Jim Rat. Jim Rat, I know you're probably noticing first thing this morning. The one thing you're noticing right now is how glorious this audience is. And it really is. We got 70-some people watching, and we got 33 thumbs up. You guys, I enjoy doing this show. I'm trying to work on just life balance. I don't know that I'm really trying to work on life balance. But that's what's my thought when I woke up this morning. And I have been going live on YouTube pretty much every day for a year. And I took a couple days off this week, and I was thinking I'm never going to do it again. But again, even thinking I'm never going to do it again isn't life balance. For me, and again, I stopped drinking 4.5 years ago because if I was going to drink, I was going to drink all the time. And if I was going to smoke weed or gamble or have sex, I was going to do as much of it as humanly possible. So again, I'm working on life balance. And instead of feeling pressure to do a show every day and never miss a day, maybe I'll just do it when I want to. And instead of feeling any pressure to even talk, maybe I'll talk if I want to. And for those that were watching in the beginning, you saw me spend about 10 minutes trying to figure something out. I think it'd be easy and needless stress on me to feel like I've got to get everything right. Because this is just one of the many things I do, and I want to enjoy it. And if I don't enjoy it, and if it becomes a burden or unpleasant, I'm not going to keep doing it. And even if I do, you guys aren't probably going to like it because I'm going to be going, crap, I didn't want to go on this morning. And you don't want to watch some long-faced guy saying, crap, I didn't feel like doing it this morning. You want to look at some glowing-faced bald man that is me. It is good to take for ourselves, to take time off for ourselves. And somebody asked earlier why I'm in Wisconsin. People have asked me why I left real estate or why I was a realtor. I think the best part of me being a realtor. Okay, wait, hold on. Don Carlson, good morning. Was I able to reschedule the interview in Central Illinois? No, Don. As a matter of fact, the person, maybe it wasn't even a person, the scheduler, I'll catch you up, a little backstory. I might relocate to Central Illinois to get closer to friends and family. And so I have applied to a bunch of different jobs in Central Illinois over the last month or so. And one reached out that I thought would match my skill set in a lot of ways. And said they wanted to do an interview. And when was I available? And in my mind, I'm used to phone interviews, Zoom interviews, and hadn't actually thought of it being a real face-to-face interview, which, by the way, I do prefer. However, the job itself was in Decatur, Illinois, which is like 5 or 6 hours away. And so I looked at my schedule early last week and I said, hey, I'm available Friday at 10. I work as a waiter at 2 restaurants and as a substitute teacher. Don't get me started. As well, so I can pick up shifts. I have some flexibility in my schedule, but I work as much as I can because I need the money. But anyway, so I looked and I said Friday at 10, knowing I was going to be waiting tables Friday night and I was working the previous Thursday. And all of a sudden it dawned on me that it was not a phone interview or a Zoom interview and that they actually wanted in person. Again, my preferred way of interviewing, but I wasn't going to drive 5 or 6 hours for one first interview for a job that I don't know much about. I just wasn't going to do it. There's no way. That's not a valuable use of time. So I immediately recognized my error, called, left a message, explained, responded to the scheduling system they had, explaining it, and I never heard back either via phone call or via scheduling system. And I could say they could say, well, he made a mistake. We don't want to hire a guy that's not willing to drive down to Decatur or whatever. It's not that I'm not willing to. You just can't drive 6 hours for a first interview and then 6 hours back. You know, better be a dang good job. But I found it weird they didn't respond. They didn't say, oh, no worries, or oh, no worries, we found another candidate, or acknowledge anything. I found that strange. So no, I wasn't able to reschedule. It's not terrible, but it's funny. It was worth talking about. Again, nobody was... I met whoever I sent it with. I said, yeah, how about Friday at 10? And they go, okay, that sounds good. Within 15 minutes, I realized what I'd done, and I responded, hey, I made a mistake. I was expecting it to be a Zoom phone call. I'm up here. I won't be able to make it there. I'm working that day. And nothing ever responded back. And I called. Oh, where was I going? I was going to say something before that. Somebody thinks bellhop is my calling. And sit out there and hold my hand. There's so many movie scenes like that. And I guess there's lots of well-to-do people getting checked into hotels, and you have the bellhop. Classic character in a movie. It's a glorious audience. A glorious audience with 66 people watching, 36 thumbs up. Oh, so yeah, I enjoy doing this show. And I just enjoy doing this show. And I think I have some experience that is worth sharing and some stories to tell. And it seems I don't know, you guys are enjoying my little stories. I'd like my audience to grow. So if you'd be so kind to double tap that phone you're watching me on right now, I think that would boost the number of thumbs up I would get, and YouTube would think that's pretty neat and would probably push my show out to a larger audience. I'd greatly appreciate it. Dawn said her daughter is job hunting and gets ghosted all the time. It's frustrating. Yeah. I did great. On an interview for a radio station not too long ago, and I spoke with the program manager, and it went really well. We did a Zoom call. And then I spoke to the person that would have been it was a morning show radio DJ gig. I spoke to the person that I was going to do the morning show with. We were going to do a morning show. And she's already there in that position and was going to pick a partner. We had a great talk for an hour. And I never heard back. Ever. And I emailed both parties going, hey, have you followed? I don't think they ever filled the void. I think what happened is they were pretty happy. I think the program manager likes having a very active role in the show and in the radio station, like a visible personality there. And maybe the woman that is doing the show didn't really want a partner. She had a male partner. He left under kind of weird circumstances. I only say weird because the guy said he didn't want to talk about it or even think about it. Why the guy left, I don't know. And maybe they decided never to do a partner, but it still seems they could have said, hey, Ken, we decided to change direction and just do a one-person show, or Ken, we thought you would have sucked in the role. You know, they could have said something. But to totally ghost me, it's very strange. I mean, I'd say it's unprofessional because it's amazingly unprofessional. But that would almost sound like I'm bitter. But I'd be lying if I didn't say how unprofessional it was to just never respond again. Jay said it's common courtesy to let unsuccessful applicants know that the position's been filled or something, or it didn't even matter. I'm not even saying, you know, I'm just saying something. It's not going to work out. We don't want you. Yeah, you could even be mean. But to totally, again, I spoke to 2 people for about an hour each. Good morning, Mike. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. So it's Sunday morning. It's 7:16. Let's talk a little bit about work-life balance. I made it to the gym yesterday. I tell you, I worked a I had like a 14-hour day on Friday, and I didn't get quite enough sleep yesterday. And went to the gym anyway and did not feel very strong. I struggle with pull-ups, and I couldn't do a pull-up yesterday. I usually can do one and then a couple half ones. I couldn't even do one yesterday, but I still did it. I still got through, did the bench, did the curls, did sit-ups. I punched the heavy bag, which I'm starting to enjoy. I got small wrists, and I'm not like a fighter. I don't, you know, I want to hug people. They should have a hugging bag. I would be awesome at the hugging bag if they had one at the gym. Just come up and give it a squeeze. But they don't. They have a heavy bag. And I found some gloves in there that I've been using. And just punching it for, I think I did it 1:15 the first couple days. I boosted it to 1:20 yesterday. Feels good in a lot of ways. And enjoy it. I might go over there this morning and do a few exercises and then head on to church at maybe catch the 10:30 service. I think that'd be good for me. It's the age. You can't do a pull-up anymore. Jay, is it just pull-ups? Because I'm weirdly strong, Jay. Like I can bench press almost as much as I ever could. I did 10 dips, which is pretty darn good for me. But the pull-up exercise itself is just, I'm not sure. I mean, I think I'm bigger than I was. I think I weigh like 218 or something. I was never good at pull-ups, so I'm not sure it's just the age. Even in high school, I don't think I could do a pull-up. But about 10 years ago, I worked up to 6 pull-ups. And now, I can't do any. Oh, we got a couple Marines on board. Let's see. It's just pull-ups for you too, okay. The buy me a coffee isn't working, the link. Well, if you really want to go there, I think it should work. I think it should work. It's Coffee with Ken on Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate that, Nancy. But I'm betting it either works or I haven't copied or pasted it some way correctly, but I'm not going to get too stressed about it right now. It's not working. All right, will you see the buymeacoffee.com/coffeewithken? I don't know why it's not working, but it'll take some tinkering. It'll take some tinkering. Yeah, I'll do it next live. Again, I think it's easy to get stressed out by a bunch of stuff. I gave it a pretty good effort. I'll figure it out again and work on it again. But I appreciate you guys for checking and for the feedback just the same. Good morning, Dakota Wright. How are you? How are you? Oh. So what else do I have for you? It's Sunday morning, 7:21. I mentioned I watched Dead Poets Society last night. There was something nice about it. I think I liked seeing Ethan Hawke as a very young man in that show. I found that interesting. And the men that were at this school, I found sort of interesting. And I couldn't help but think while I was watching it that the dude that was the star that ended up taking his life, the guy that was a great actor and had a jerk of a father, looked a heck of a lot like Jim Carrey. He kept reminding me, and I was kind of thinking, is this Jim Carrey's brother? I don't think, I've never heard that Jim Carrey has an actor brother, so I doubt it's Jim Carrey's brother. But it sure looked like him. It sure looked like him. Good morning, Jack Taylor. You were on earlier, Jack Taylor. I think you guessed Dead Poets Society, which is what we're talking about now. Hey, can you guys participate in my test here? When you say, and Julie, you're there right now, and this is not a plea, when you say it's not working, if you click on that button, it doesn't take you to the Buy Me a Coffee site. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Just so I know or are you going to buy me a coffee and it doesn't? Okay. Yeah, nothing happens. Okay. Well, maybe there's just no way to put a link in the comments, possibly. It's not a clickable link. Okay. I wonder, it might be that it just shows you a link and goes nowhere. Well, I appreciate that you're all trying. Boy, I wonder, does anyone know, can you actually have a link in a comment? Like, somebody out there, put a link in your comment. Well, Jack, I appreciate how frustrated, think how frustrated, you guys are frustrated that you can't go there and give me money. I mean, this is saving you money. Think how frustrating it is for me. Knowing that I have all this pent up support, a tidal wave of coffees coming my way that can never reach the beach that is Coffee with Ken. Is there a space behind the backslash? Again, I can't dig too deep into it being here. I mean, I don't know, do you need a space behind there? Can I add it? I don't know if I want to add it. Should we play around with it a little more? Should I go back to my computer and why don't I try that again? I don't want to distract it, but it would feel good to have it done. It would feel good to have it figured out. That maybe that's not why it's working, because there's not even a slash. Maybe I need a space after the colon. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure though. All right, well, I'll play around with it. But I appreciate your feedback just to let me know. I'm going to get a little more coffee. You think you need, I don't know that you need the HTTPS. Maybe you do. You don't know if you can use one platform direct. Okay. Yes, somebody put a link in their comment. Somebody go put a link in your comment and put the comment. I think that's probably the issue. I doubt YouTube allows you to put a link in your comment. Yeah, okay, because I've never, if somewhere along the line in the history of me going live on YouTube, somebody would have commented with a link to something somewhere. That's not a link. Do you drink cold brew or strictly hot coffee? Oh, well, I appreciate that. But Julie, to my main page, yeah, everyone would be putting links. So I don't think, like, nobody's even trying it here. Can somebody copy and paste a link in a comment just to see if you can? And I'm betting you can't, because otherwise it would show up in blue, wouldn't it? Yeah. I think when I pasted it was in blue. Yeah, the link is in the description. Yeah, I can do that. That's not a bad idea. Okay, all right, Jack Taylor says he just did. And your comment's not even showing. So that's what it is, Jack Taylor. Your comment's not even showing. It doesn't even let your comment show. But maybe because I'm the, which makes sense, because you guys could be putting links to bad pages. Okay, well, that makes sense then. That makes sense. Yeah, I bet YouTube does block it. I'm gonna get a little more coffee. Oh, that's good. That is good. So again, it is Sunday morning. Having a glorious show, start to my morning. 43 thumbs up. We got 56 viewers. Yeah, it is good they do that. It is good they do that. Because again, yeah, people would be putting links to, yeah, you wouldn't, they'd be putting links, you'd go on to a mega successful live streamer, not me, and be sharing your links to your live stream. And that would be frustrating, I think. Oh. But anyway, again, it's Sunday morning. I was planning to go to the 10:30. Show. 10:30 church service. I've been talking to the woman I met several months ago who's a Bible mentor there occasionally about my thoughts on the Bible. It's hard for me to do that because I'm not trying to harm anybody's faith, but I'm also not going to pretend I feel a certain way that I don't feel to humor somebody about something that's important and personal to me. And as many of you know, I started reading the Old Testament maybe 4 months ago, and I hated it. I thought it was a horrible book. I did. I still do. And I'm a little disappointed that it's in the Bible, or that it makes me question the New Testament. And the words in there and the holiness of the whole Bible, because I found the Old Testament so yucky. She seems to be intrigued by my thoughts because it shows that I care, and I do think I care. And I think I talked about it yesterday with school and how the job of a substitute teacher I don't think is good for me, because I think you need to accept that you are just plugging a hole and you are keeping the seat warm and getting through the day, because you're in a class you don't know and you're teaching a subject you don't know. So maybe survival's all you're trying to do. And maybe a lot of people carry around the Bible and just want to carry around the Bible and, I don't know, give off holy vibes or something. But I want to understand the words. And I don't want to be explained the words necessarily. I want the words to connect to me, or else it's just somebody telling me their thoughts. And I read the words and I didn't like them. And I still don't. My support link doesn't work. Yes, we talked through that. You can't actually have links on YouTube, we figured out. But I appreciate you trying to click on it. I'm not sure the workaround for that, but that explains it. You can't post links on comments, but I tried. But I appreciate you trying. Again, somebody over the last couple of days asked me, asked ChatGPT how to make the Coffee with Ken more revenue creating. And one of their suggestions was create a Coffee with Ken, a Buy Me a Coffee page. And I'd already had one. I had a viewer named Mike. I think his name's Mike. He lives in Minnesota. Watches my show periodically, calls it his AA meeting without going to an AA meeting. And he told me to create a page several months ago, so I did. And he was kind enough to hop on and support me by sending me $50. And on Christmas, somebody watching sent me 25. I thought it was very nice. And so anyway, I'd already had a page created, and ChatGPT said to pin it to this stream. And here I have, but apparently links don't work under comments. Jake, I'm not going to read your comments because they're, but New Testament is definitely much better. It's like a twist in the movie. Yeah. I talked to a guy yesterday who belongs to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. And I don't have that much experience with Mormons, or really what it means or what their beliefs are that are different than other Christians. And I said, well, I know you're spiritual. And he goes, I prefer you say I'm religious. And I said, wow. Not that it bothered me, but I don't know anybody that's corrected me from spiritual to religious. Like I've asked people if they're religious and they say they're spiritual, but I've never actually had somebody that I labeled spiritual saying they prefer to be called religious. But that's not really part of the story. He explained my struggles with the Old Testament again, that was long ago and those were savage times. And I think a lot of people explain the Old Testament, well, those were times when people were savages. But that doesn't explain God's role in it. That doesn't give God an excuse to be a savage. And that's my struggle. Look, I watch Braveheart. I know they, use axes and chop off heads and do horrible things to each other. I know war's hell. But that God was an active participant in it is what bothers me. Smelly Cat said, you believe there's a higher power, but we don't need to live our lives for it. We live our lives for us. We all know there has always been God's worship throughout time. All through history, there's been God's worship. So it seems there's a basic need for humans to believe in a higher power. And this is I'm not caring that it's blasphemous to Christians or whatever. I don't care at all. What if it's all the same God? It doesn't mean that the people that worshiped the sun 10,000 years ago were wrong, per se, or that worshiped, I kind of think it's all the same God. You lost your child when she was 10, you struggle with God. I can imagine something very unimaginably painful to most of us would certainly lead you to struggle with the concept of a God. I found my spirituality and me leaning on faith when I was going through some of my darkest times. So I think you could also respond the other way and need faith or to believe in a higher power to get through that unimaginably horrific situation. So it's 7:38. A couple options facing me. Smelly Cat gets mad at God a lot. God's okay with that. God's okay with that. God's okay with you doubting him, her, it, questioning, wondering why. God forgives. Smelly Cat says, that's why you get upset when people look at you and say, don't worry, God has a plan. Well, I might be one. I wouldn't just say don't worry, but I'm saying give your worry to God, and that might be bothersome to you. But I'm saying feeling angry or bothered or worried about everything can't feel very good. You wish God would let you in on his plan. Well, again, Smelly Cat, if I may, and I will, God's not going to let you in on his plan. And I think what you're maybe missing that will give you much mental peace is giving that to God. Giving your worry, your anger, your lack of knowing, and giving all that stuff to God and letting him carry it. Because right now you want some agreed upon partnership between you and God that's not going to happen. And I think the power of faith is being able to give the unknowing or the unexplainable or the worry or the fear or the sadness or anxiety and giving it to God. I should be a pastor? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Can you be a pastor when you're basically sharing your questioning of faith itself? All right, hold on, Anthony. How do you do that when you're being torn apart by Christians that you loved when you were a child? But you're trying to let go of it for years along with praying, but every church you go to, you get ignored. Well, what do you mean you get ignored at church, Anthony? Yeah, what do you mean? I mean, I don't expect the church to, I'm going to go to church this morning, and there's going to be a man or a woman holding open the door and smiling at me when I walk in, and I'm going to see 1,000 friendly faces. I don't expect the pastor to stop the sermon and say, Ken's in the house. So maybe you need to lower your expectations a little bit and just kind of feel part of the warm, fuzzy feeling that is going to what I would say, I won't even say it, to a church. Again, not all churches feel the same, but go to one that feels right for you. I went to 6 or 7 different churches. I a little bit want to be ignored. When I first moved to Appleton, about a year ago now, I went to like 6 or 7 churches, I think. And some would come up and tell me they want to find me a seat, and it was nice, or make sure I see if I had any questions. And I go, actually, I'd prefer to just kind of lurk around and feel the vibe of this place, but thank you. And for me, I think going to a bigger church is better because you can be a little bit anonymous. You go to a local church, there's, 40 people in there maybe on a given Sunday, or 40 or 80 or whatever the number is. Everybody knows each other, and if you're new, they're going to wonder, who the heck is this guy sitting in the third pew? We're going to go meet him, and that might be daunting to a lot of people. You're welcome, Smelly Cat. How do you even join a church? Is there an etiquette? No, I don't even know if you need to join a church. You go. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to join a church officially. I'm no church expert, but you go. If anyone's in Appleton, Wisconsin, there's a 8:30 and a 10:30 service today. You go. You listen to the music, you drink some coffee, you smile at people, you strike up conversations if you choose to. You contribute to the donation box if you want. You leave. If you like it at all or it feels good at all. And don't expect God to come and grab your heart and say, this is the place for me. Sometimes that happens, but it probably usually doesn't. Go again next week. And if you weren't feeling right about it, go to a different one the following week. You don't have to go to church. I very much equate going to church to somebody who wants to enhance their spirituality with going to a gym for somebody that wants to get in better physical shape. You don't need to go to a gym You could do push-ups and sit-ups and run around the block 100 times without going to a gym. But when I go to a gym, I see other people working out and feeling good and get some camaraderie. In the same exact, not exact, but very close to similar feeling as when I go to church. I could pray in my apartment. I could read the Bible if I choose to. I could talk to God in my apartment. But when I go to church, I see other people doing similar things, and I enjoy that camaraderie. And I enjoy the music and the coffee and the socialization, just like I enjoy the socialization when I go to the gym. Good morning, Brian. How are you? Again, back to joining a church. I think a good way, if you want to, I think just going to one is the key. But if you want to get more involved, I think a lot of churches have what's called small groups, and they might have like a Bible study or a men's night or a breakfast for people to sit around and talk about faith. And you can join various small groups if you're more comfortable with that. Dragonsmith said, physical training is of some value, but God's word is always of value. Dragonsmith, I would guess you writing that makes you a person that would annoy me. Physical training isn't always of value. You know. I'm going to get a little more coffee. That's what God's word said? Oh, God's word. Are you talking the Bible? Don't get me started. You're going to get me started. God's word also says if you see a good-looking woman from the village you destroyed, shave her head, clip her nails, have sex with her. If you like it, you're married to her. If you don't, just send her on her way. That's what God's word said in the Bible. Oh, you don't believe me? Deuteronomy chapter 21. I'll tell you what, it feels great to actually be a bit versed in things and to be able to engage and be able to say that with confidence and instead of just going, oh, well, that's what somebody tells me God's word says. Yeah, Smelly Cat, that's exactly, exactly, Smelly Cat. How did they shave heads back in biblical times? I don't know, but I'm betting they got a rock that was really sharp. I mean, not that the 10 Commandments, they did shave heads. You see, although I'm only watching on TV, for some reason you pick a picture of Pharaoh, they usually have a shaved head, right? Picture any Pharaoh in your mind right now. He's probably got a shaved head. It must have been pretty painful. I bet you they sharpened the heck out of a rock. What's the most profound verse to me? Mr. Personality. Honestly, I haven't read any super profound verses in the Bible. I haven't been, again, I read the Old Testament and I was repulsed. So now I'm starting the New Testament. If it says if in the Bible, and it might, says having faith allows you to walk in joy despite your circumstances, I'll call that my most profound verse. I don't find, Mr. Personality, you bring up, it can't be John 3:16. I don't find John 3:16 very profound. I don't think I'm ever going to be a Christian, because Christians tend to hang everything on John 3:16. I think it's the wrong message. Look, I'm saying maybe the biggest religion in the world has the wrong message. What's John 3:16? God so loved the earth that he gave his one and only son to die for our sins. It's something like that, I believe. I don't even like that message. I think there's way too much focus on the crucifixion and not enough focus on love and forgiveness and understanding and acceptance. Let me get a little more coffee. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Smelly Cat, is that a verse in the Bible? I'd roll with that one. I like that one. That feels good. That feels good. You like that one? Oh, it's about 8 o'clock. I might go to the 8:30 service. If I don't, I feel I'll just be kind of hanging out. I mean, I could talk to you guys more if we had something great to talk about. But I'm not sure I do. These are different Christians nowadays. I don't know what, well, I mean, maybe. I'm not sure specifically what you mean when you say these are different Christians nowadays. Good morning, little cherry. Let's see. Christians today are strange. Yeah. So it's Sunday morning. And the sun is shining. The sky is blue. My coffee is hot. And I'm looking forward to my day. I'm not totally sure what that day holds, but maybe I don't need to know what that day holds, just like Smelly Cat, who seeks all the answers, but I think it's best if we can let go of that need. It has been a glorious audience with 57 thumbs up. We got 43 people watching. We got $5 in the kitty. And I appreciate you guys for joining me today. Do I know the difference between happiness and joy? I mean, I don't know if there's a clear division of it, but you can tell me what your thought is on happiness and joy. in my mind, I think joy is a state of, is almost a, happiness is an emotion like sadness or anger. But I think joy is, I would say, is kind of part of who you are if you're a joyous person. Schadenfreude said, happiness is being content and joy fills you with energy. I don't think happiness is being content. I think contentment is its own emotion. Joy is in the moment. I think happiness is more in the moment. Happiness comes from circumstances. Joy comes from God and flows through us. Well, that would go to that line that I keep repeating, that having faith allows us to walk in joy despite our circumstances. But I like that explanation. I was about to wrap up with you fine folk. Still torn between the 8:30 and the 10:30 service. I don't know that I need to be torn or really worry about it at all. But I'm enjoying our coffee this morning and our little conversation we're having. And I do know it always feels good making it to the 8:30 service, so that is kind of calling me. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing, Greg. I appreciate you being here. What gives you joy? Faith gives you joy. Yeah. Having faith gives you joy, or God's love gives you joy, or believing in a higher power gives you joy. But what gives us happiness? Again, I think happiness is an emotion that sort of passes. It is a glorious audience, Jim Rat. Did I talk to you about my workout yesterday, Jim Rat? Maybe I don't need to catch you up to date. I wasn't feeling very strong. You're welcome, Smelly Cat. I could go to the gym before church. Excited about my day tomorrow. You listened to me yesterday. What is tomorrow? I have a first interview with a company that I think I could enjoy the job for, and it could be an opportunity for me to consolidate the 3 jobs I have into perhaps something I can build on a little bit. And I talked about substitute teaching a lot yesterday, so I don't really want to talk about it again. I think for me, switching classes every day is emotionally draining because I value connection and being good at something. And when you're a substitute teacher, you are plugged to fill a hole, or used as a plug to fill a hole. And always being used just to fill a hole or a gap in a schedule, and going into a new class every day where you don't know any kids, or you don't know when lunch is, or who's covering the recess, or I don't know, whatever else. Every day, I think, was very mentally draining on me. And I thought I had an opportunity. I had a class I really enjoyed teaching on Thursday that was 3rd graders. It was a struggle at first, but by the end of the day, I felt we'd made a lot of strides. I'd figured out how to manage, guide, teach the kids a little bit, and they all wanted me back the following day. And I tried to pick up a shift the following day, and they sent me to another school, and I didn't like that. And I get it, I guess that's what you sign up for as a sub. But I don't want that. I want a chance to build a relationship with somebody and not just be used to plug a hole. That, and the fact I was scolded for giving the kids nicknames. You're a sub. You have 30 kids you've never seen before staring at you, raising their hand. I'm going to give them nicknames. I was scolded for that. I don't want to be scolded for that. And it makes me think that working in the educational system's not the right place for me. It's strict rules to follow, and, you know, their mantra is be polite, respectable, safe, and this and that. And it's just, you know, there's no joy or fun or understanding, or, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the right place for me in a school. So anyway, and I'm also working 2 jobs as a waiter, but I've got so many jobs that I'm not able to be really good at any of them. And I have an interview tomorrow with a company that, you know, I don't know if it's my end stop in my path, or even if the job will match at all, but I think it's something I could sink my teeth into a little bit, hopefully enjoy, and hopefully do pretty well at. Yeah, Greg, but you understand, maybe, I just think for me, emotionally, it was hard. You know, thank you for saying that, Greg, or you're welcome. You'd leave, you know, you'd go, oh, this was a great class. These kids really like me, and you'd just go away. And you're going, wow, I didn't feel I was building anything. You were just, you know, and I think for some people it could be really good. But for me, I felt it left me a little bit feeling empty, like going, wow, I really connected with these students, or these staff members, or this building even. See you later. For me, I felt that was emotionally almost punitive for a guy that values relationships and making a difference. There's an ancient proverb who says, he who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. Yeah. Somebody asked, why do I take on many jobs, bro? Well, because I was a realtor for 17 years, and 3 years ago I left that. And at 53, to try and figure out what you're good at has been challenging for me. I put everything I had into being the best realtor I could, and still only did fairly okay. Yeah. Would I say it felt like rejection? What felt like rejection? Leaving the school? No, I would say it was more akin to going out on a first date with a woman and never having a second date. You know, sitting down, going through the awkward, how are you doing, this and that, making conversation, and never having a second date. And kind of wondering, what the heck was the point of that? And you could say, well, plugged a hole. You got paid. But honestly, plugging a hole isn't enough for me emotionally in a job. So you could look at it as getting paid. You make $140, which is about 19, 18 bucks an hour. So it's kind of a low-paying job. So if it doesn't fulfill you financially or emotionally or spiritually in any way, it's probably not right for you. And I don't think it's right for me, and I don't want to do it anymore. Good morning, Fred. How are you? Good morning, Tammy Johnson. Yeah, and again, I think it was perfect. I think it's probably a great thing for a ton of different people. But for me, I was looking at it as a next step in my career. And it was a next step in my career. Oh, wow, someone else. Wow, that's the sweetest thing. Someone else, you're very kind. Thank you for that. But for me, I felt it was emotionally draining. And I get that. But if it's only emotionally draining and you're not building towards something, because I get it. Look, you go into a sales job, it's going to be emotionally draining. You're going to get rejection, but you're also at the same time building up a book of business and getting better at sharpening your axe, if you will, and getting better at it. And for me, given the two things that it was emotionally draining and I didn't feel I had the opportunity to work in the same class 2 days in a row, pissed me off. We have a glorious audience today. An absolutely glorious audience today. Maybe I could talk to you folks a little longer. Hello, Terry Saunders. How are you? Is Saunders a British name or an English name? Let's see. Can you borrow $20? I doubt it. Jim Rat says he doesn't know how teachers do it every day. I'm assuming the good feeling and the good vibes they get from developing these children over a year, or seeing the growth of the kids over a year, must be amazing. To have, if you're, I don't know, a first grade teacher and they don't know how to add 1 + 1 or write their name at the beginning of the year, and at the end they're writing complete sentences, and they're, you're hugging them on that last day. That must be an awesome, awesome feeling. But I'll bet it is hard, because I'm betting there's kids that you don't feel so warm and fuzzy about in your class. And I think that would be challenging. Yeah, you got to wear a lot of hats. You're almost you got to wear a lot of hats as a teacher. And some of those hats might not fit me. I'm going to get a little more coffee. We're going to talk for a little bit. I might go to the 10:30 service and get a quick workout in before I do that. And that would feel really, really good. But if I do that, I still can talk for a little while with you fine folks. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me grab a little coffee. Well, thank you. I don't remember what analogy it was, but if I got lucky. Again, I talk enough, occasionally something good's going to come out of my mouth, and that's usually what happens. You had a file of all the great things that happened just to remind me on the tough days. Oh yeah, Greg, you were a teacher for 32 years? Was it did you find it hard or rewarding? I'm sure it's challenging. I'll have people come on and say it's the hardest job out there. And I'll go, I doubt that. I'll bet you being a coal miner is harder. But I would think it'd be amazingly rewarding. Mr. Personality said being a parent is the hardest job. I mean, you're obviously loosening up the definition of what a job is if you're calling being a parent a job, I would say. You say it's truly a vocation. What do you mean by that, Greg? A vocation isn't a vocation a long word for a job? I think it is. But I would like your thoughts on it, on your opinion of it, because I have some teachers that watch fairly regularly, and we talk about education a lot. It's work for sure, but more a role than a job. Okay, so, you're talking about parenting? Yeah, it's certainly a role, and it's certainly work. A vocation is a calling. Is a vocation a calling? Is that what a vocation is? Huh. I didn't know that. I've heard you learn something new every day. So maybe I just learned something new. That a vocation isn't a job, but it's a calling. All right. But anyway, I have something I can maybe sink my teeth into a little more tomorrow. So it's Sunday morning. We have a glorious audience with 60 people watching, 66 thumbs up. We got $25 in the kitty. How awesome is that? We've got a link pasted at the bottom that we figured out how to do that doesn't work because it's not really a link. And we've talked for 97 minutes. Schadenfreude said, parenting is tough, but you sure love it. What does Schadenfreude mean? Any German speakers? Or does Schadenfreude want to say what Schadenfreude means? Lisa Maria says, you haven't been on in a while. What have you missed? Lisa Maria, do you really think that I should just catch you up with what you missed? Find the right job for me. I appreciate that. My wife is a para for adults with autism, usually between 18 and 21 years old. It's not the kids that she doesn't enjoy working with, it's the other staff. A lot of drama. Yeah, Jim Rat, that could probably be in a lot of jobs, though. It's probably not just that one specifically. There's always, a lot of jobs have a lot of drama, so I don't know if that would be connected to the educational system. I wonder if there is a lot of drama in schools. I'll tell you what, my little experience, especially in the lower grades, is there's not much diversification in teachers in elementary schools. Honestly, it's comical how undiversified elementary school teachers are. Hi, 55, how are you? You went to church, and now you're here, and you have your coffee. Oh, your daughter-in-law is a high school teacher. She said the kids are great, her coworkers, all right. But again, I don't think, issues with coworkers is unique to the educational system. I'm sure, unless you're implying, and Greg, you're still watching, and 55, you're still here. Are you guys implying that teachers in some ways are hard to get along with or a pain in the ass? I didn't personally experience, but a couple people have brought up that there's a lot of issues and drama amongst teachers. And I'm assuming it's just standard work drama. But if is somebody suggesting that 55, or Greg, if you're still watching, are teachers pains in the ass? Is there a lot of drama in the educational system? I found most of them pretty nice that I worked with. You think it's standard work drama? Yeah, that's what I'd figure. Teaching is referred to as in loco parens. It means in place of the parents. Teachers are generally nice. Yeah, no, I would figure most of the people I met were very nice. I mean, you'd have to be pretty nice to deal with it. You'd have to either have to be very nice and sweet and kind, or not nice and sweet and kind and like a drill sergeant in a disciplinarian, I'd think. And maybe for me, I'm very nice and sweet and kind until I get angry, and then you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. It's 8:17. We have a glorious audience today with 60 people watching, 66 thumbs up, and 25 bucks in the kitty. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. I think I have a lot of fun. I go live most days, but I'm going to take some pressure off me and just say I go live when I want, but I go live a lot. I enjoy it. It feels good. I kind of talk about life. And it seems to resonate with a lot of people and connect with a lot of people because we're all going through our lives, and we're all facing issues, and it's just kind of a place to talk and feel okay. 55 said, it's about the structure of the room. Are you talking about teachers? Do I have thoughts on golf simulators in the winter? I've been watching a lot of videos of golf swings, and I would like to hit a golf ball right now because I feel I've got it all figured out just because I watch these guys swing the golf club, and I feel like I can do that too. But I'd probably be disappointed if I actually did because I probably hit it crappy, and I probably haven't figured out. I don't have any great thoughts on golf simulators. In the winter, but if you like them, that's cool. Well, thank you, Jim Rat. Have I seen the movie Teachers with Nick Nolte? No, I don't think so. You appreciate this chat, and I feel more mature than most. Well, I think a lot of people try and be zany if they're going live, or they feel they have to do something or entertain or what have you. And I've never felt, or rarely have felt, that my show was needed to be more than it is, which is just a guy drinking coffee and talking in the morning. It's what makes my show easy for me to keep doing, because I drink coffee and I like people generally, and like talking. Gym rat, since I was in the weight room yesterday, if I go to the gym this morning, I'm probably going to go to the fitness room, push the sled a bunch of times back and forth, maybe carry the, not the medicine balls, those heavy kettlebells like the farmers carry, and then maybe focus on a couple minutes punching the heavy bag see how that feels, and just call it a day and do some stretching and some core work. But no real pressure. Again, I think I put too much pressure on myself and everything. Like being to the church at a certain time, or getting a certain workout, or making a huge difference substitute teaching, or I don't know, having a great show or a great, glorious audience. And I think if we put that pressure down, life takes care of itself a little bit more. Good morning, armchair juror number 13. How are you today? I had a couple great batches of sleep this morning with deep dreams of kids from my childhood. Felt kind of weird. It was kind of nice waking up and feeling fairly comfortable, feeling fairly at peace, and feeling okay. Garrett is asking, how much snow? We haven't had that much snow. There's snow on the ground. We've had a patch of probably 10 straight days where the low temperature got below 0. So it's been pretty cold here in Appleton, Wisconsin. But we haven't had a ton of snow. Hmm. 55 likes feta and spinach omelets. Feta cheese is an interesting cheese, but I don't find it works super well in omelets for me. I like American cheese in omelets. Good morning, Sarah Tyler. How are you? I've hung on a little longer today. I'm not totally sure why. I guess because I realized I can go to the 10:30 service, and felt like talking a little bit more, drinking a little more coffee. Feta cheese is great on salads and kind of as a side little thing on a gyro. So I went to this place called Taste of the Windy City yesterday. And again, I'm up here in Wisconsin, was a lifelong resident of the western suburbs of Chicago. Used to eat a lot of gyros and Italian beef sandwiches. And I walked in and it felt right. And I looked at the menu and I couldn't decide between a gyro and a beef and Italian beef and sausage combo with sweet peppers. I ended up going with the combo, but I could really sink my teeth into a gyro as well. If they had what they would call a jumbo gyro, I might have tried it. That probably would have pushed me over the edge. Although they didn't have a jumbo beef either. The fries were a little overdone. I'm not sure the people in Wisconsin have quite figured out how to do some of the basics of cooking. Hello. You're from Naperville, Illinois. Gotta go with beef and sausage combo dipped with peppers. Well, welcome, Ed Mandel. I wonder where you live in Naperville, Illinois. Or if you know me, Ed Mandel. Seems very specific you're here from Naperville, Illinois. 55's husband tore out her primary bathroom and is working on it now. 55, can I ask you a question? I'm just going to ask you. Do you have a dip? Does your husband have a dip in while he's doing work in your bathroom? Greg asked, how do you like my coffee? You're a regular coffee with creamer guy. I am just drinking my coffee black. At home, I drink my coffee black. Did I insult all of Wisconsin's cooks? Perhaps I did. Well, the fries were a little overdone. They were kind of a near brownish. They weren't as yellow as I like my fries. They were a little overcooked. They were still tasty. because I put ketchup on it and salt. So they were still tasty. All right, well, tell him I said hi, 55. Ask him what tobacco he chews on. Does he do like Skoal, or is he using like Red Man, where he puts a chaw in? Yeah, I grew up in Downers Grove, Ed, and spent the last 17 years of my pre-Wisconsin life in Naperville. Red Man, all right. I would say Red Man, part of me sometimes wants to pick up a vice again and start like chewing tobacco. Your dad was a Skoal guy. Yeah, no, I used to love Skoal Mint. That was my favorite chew. Your wife is from Oak Park. All right. Did I go to North or South? I went to Downers Grove North. And I graduated in 1986. Could we really have this many Chicago area people all on my show? No, I didn't do the green mint. I did the blue. There's a Skoal Mint in blue, and I kind of miss just doing this motion. Did I hear about the murder in Oswego? No, it kind of worries me, Lisa Smith, you bringing it up, because my daughter lives in Oswego. I'm sure she's okay. But no, I didn't hear about any trouble in Oswego. Good morning, Hope. You live in Downers. You live in Downers. How do you happen to live in my hometown? Okay, skate, guitar, gardening. How do you happen to live in my hometown? How does that, and I'm not even paranoid or overly caring, but I'm wondering, how do you happen to live in my hometown? Do you know me? Because we have somebody from Naperville and somebody from my hometown, and we only have 64 people watching, and it just seems strange. Is there any, maybe does the algorithm sense my Downers Grove roots and put it to you because you're from Downers Grove? Or do you know me? It just seems strange. Watch out. I am watching out. Okay, there's somebody from Toronto, Canada. No connection. Because if you're going to shuffle, randomly pick viewers from around the world, and I do get viewers from around the world, I'm wondering how we have somebody from my hometown. And somebody else from Naperville, where I spent the last 17 years of my life. Jess is from Kentucky. Again. I'm going to get a little coffee. Boo, boo, boo. Downers Grove sounds like a Hallmark movie. Yeah. Because Downers Grove was founded by Pierce Downer. I don't know. I should know what year. I'm going to say like in 1832. And I went to Pierce Downer grade school. 1818? It wasn't 1818. And the reason I'm pretty sure I know that, Illinois was founded in 1818.
The reason I'm pretty sure I knew that, I ran the Downers Grove 10 miler, and I ran it on the sesquicentennial, which I think means the 150th anniversary of the town. And that would be 1968 if you were right on the founding of the town being in 1818. But I'm pretty sure it's not, because I was born in 1968, so I don't think it was then. You were born and raised in Wisconsin, but taught in Evanston for 3 years. Evanston's a neat town, I think. It's kind of like Chicago, but a little smaller. It's along the lake. I think along the lake would be cool. 1832, there you go. That's what I thought. Again, Illinois was 1818. And the reason I knew, I remember wearing a Downers Grove 10 miler shirt, and it said like the sesquicentennial, I think, which I believe meant the 150th year of the village. I believe Downers Grove is officially a village. I'll tell you, having this interview tomorrow for a position that seems at least intriguing to me gives me a lot of peace of mind. And I know it's just an interview. But at my lowest in the last few days, I felt trapped in a position that wasn't healthy for me. And I don't want to be trapped in a position that isn't healthy for me. And having a position for me that could be, I don't know, maybe something to build on and sink my teeth into a little bit feels really good. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think because of that, I think I slept better last night. Where do I attend church? Alliance. It's Alliance in Appleton. There's a few around here. It's a mega church. But it feels good. I'll tell you, I miss the church I went to in Naperville a lot, which was the Community Christian of Naperville. I went back there a few weeks ago. I was down in the suburbs visiting my daughters, and went to that church. And it just felt so good being there and seeing so many friendly faces. Yeah. What kind of job is it? It's I'd say a somewhat low pressure sales job, if I had to describe it, and I will. But one I think I could be good at. But anyway, this has been an amazingly glorious audience. And I am excited about my Sunday. And I can't imagine a better way to start my Sunday than having coffee, having a glorious audience, going for a quick workout, doing whatever the heck I want to do. And I got a couple things I want to do. Lisa Smith, you'll be happy if you're here, because I know you're big into working your legs. Today's day is, I guess it'd be a leg day, but I'm not doing squats or anything. I'm planning on pushing the sled, which kind of seems barbaric and macho to me. So I like hitting the heavy bag and carrying around kettlebells for a while. That's my plan. And coming home, having a shower, heading off to church, getting there a little bit early. And I don't know, people watching. Going in, experience the service. Maybe going to a coffee shop after church today. Maybe editing some videos. Taking a peek at if there's any new cool jobs on any of the job boards. Maybe do whatever the heck I want the rest of the day and just not put any more pressure than that on me. But I'm excited about it. I hope you're excited about your day as well. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend, that you had a great, great night's sleep, that you are feeling good, that you are loving yourself, that you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.